Right now, I'm doing the work of what I used to have 17 people doing all by myself using AI. I used to have 17 employees, and I'm doing all of their work way better by myself and probably more of it. I did probably a month work of work today in 4 hours of deep work, all using AI. It is so ridiculously powerful incorporating AI into your businesses. And I think there's so much opportunity out there because I'm talking and I know so many business owners who are a little bit older who are very scared of AI because it's the new thing and a lot of people are talking about it and they know that they probably should learn, but they've been stuck on their own ways for the past who knows how long, and they don't want to adapt to the times. I was actually like this until a few weeks ago. But since then, I've been balls deep, per se, into trying to incorporate this into my business, and it is working almost too well. And I'm getting to the point where I think I'm going to hire someone to take over my spot because I have bigger things and more important things to focus on. I've learned how I incorporated this into the current business that I'm working with. And now what I'm going to do is hire someone to fill this exact spot. I'm going to train them to do exactly what I'm doing because I know I can only spend maybe 3 hours on this a day. If I can hire someone to spend 6 to 8 hours on this every single day, they will get a lot more done and everything will come together a lot better over time. Then I can spend my time working on the things that matter the most instead of spending 4 hours taking transcripts, putting them into AI, fixing those transcripts. I can just pay them to do all of this. And then I can just review the work at the end, which I think is going to work a lot better if I can get someone to do it to a decent enough degree. And this is something that I see a lot of new entrepreneurs have a very hard time with is giving up control because they think that they do everything the best. And fortunately, I know that I'm a dumb motherfucker. And I don't want, or I know that if I'm spending 2 to 3 hours a day on something and it's producing X output, I know that if I hire someone or hire 5 people to do that, they're not just going to be able to produce let's say, 10 widgets that I'm producing every single week. If I hire one person and this is their entire goal to do this every single day, they are going to do that same job. But because that's their only focus, they are going to produce 20, 30, 40, 50 widgets at the end of it. And the only way they're not is if the person hiring them takes accountability and realize they didn't either train them properly or they hired the wrong person. And I think that's what I did initially. I didn't have a good hiring process. And when I do decide to fill out someone for this role, I'm going to show you guys exactly uh, when I start the job post to when I actually have the hired person from A to Z as to my plan to hire this kind of person to fill in the role. Because I think it's so important to go through a lot of different candidates and what my thought process is when I'm looking through these different candidates to actually hire. Just a brief overview. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say someone who's already proficient in AI. We are going to be taking long form videos and synthesizing them or taking them and turning them into a much more digestible piece of content. We'll be turning them into Twitter threads, LinkedIn post, email post, meta post. Then we'll be turning the long form videos into Instagrams, TikToks, YouTube Reels. Where the main thing that they're going to be doing is the taking the transcripts of the videos and turning those into AI Twitter threads and other email lists and blog post, etc. Mainly the written work is what AI is going to be good at. Sorry for my dogs in the back; they are freaking out. I'll say probably 100 people will respond to that job board, and then what I'll do is I'll have all of them do a sample trial task, and I'll say, "Hey, do this X, Y, and Z," and then send it to my email. That is going to be tracking a few different skill sets. How well do they follow instructions? Do they get creative? Because in the job message board, I'm going to be asking them to do some sort of creative task to where they're actually using their brain to see how when a problem arises, how they solve that problem. If they ask for my help when that problem arises, or they figure it out on their own. I think that's a very important skill set that I'm looking for. And then when I actually get it back, and I skim through, maybe 50 people do it, I'll skim through and maybe 3 of them look really good. And out of those 3, then I'll have a call with those 3 people and ask for them to articulate the reasoning and rationale as to why they did, what they changed. I want to see the actual ChatGPT transcript because I want to see the questions they were asking it, the what they were wanted it to do, etc. And then that's probably how I'll find the person. And sometimes if there's a few really good people, I'll just put on 2 or 3 people, even though I don't need to at the time. But when you find a really good employee, I'd rather just hire them and I'd fill more work in for them as I can because that's usually harder to find. And so this is what I'm thinking about now. There's a lot of different mistakes I see younger guys like me making, and I'm making so many other mistakes. So I'm not acting like I'm perfect in this. I get so much wrong that I don't even know it because you don't know what you don't know. If I didn't get anything wrong, I'd be making $10 million a month right now. So it's not a whole lot for what it's worth. So the main things that I see people doing is not wanting to give up control because they think they should be doing everything themselves, and that's what working hard actually is. I used to be in this mindset a lot that I want to work hard, and therefore, if I want to work hard, I should do everything myself. But you can only work so many hours of the day, and it's about how much you get done. So it's not about how hard you work. That does not matter at all. And then other people, they think that hiring people is, or they think that no one can do the job as good as they do it. But if you hire someone that their only priority is to do that one singular role, they are going to be 100 times better at it, or they're going to be able to get 100 times more done than you will because that's their main priority, where that's only 1/10 of your priority. And right now, when I'm trying to learn this new email sequencing tactic that is going to convert more sales, I need someone to do a lot more the organic stuff. And then once I really get down this email sequencing stuff, I'm going to hire someone to fill on this role while I'm focusing on the next thing. And at the same time, kind of overviewing everything and then thinking through things that are going to increase the results that I can have these people incorporate into their um, projects. For example, if I see something that's working really good for the email sequences or blog posts or the Twitter threads, I'm going to say, hey, I need you to incorporate this into the next 10 threads and we'll see how it works. But I don't actually have to do that. I can just have them A/B test it, and then I can get a lot more done because I have to spend all my time actually implementing it. And what I really enjoy is thinking through the things that move the bottom line the most and then hiring people to fill in those kinds of roles. But again, AI is taking over the world. It is so much more powerful than I could have dreamed of. For example, right now, the books that I'm listening to on repeat are Russell Brunson's marketing books. He has a few different marketing books, the .com secrets, expert secrets, traffic secrets, where he's going over some of like the marketing Bible stuff on how to get customers, how to turn those leads into customers, or how to turn traffic into leads into customers, and kind of all the shebang. And what I'm doing is I'm teaching ChatGPT to be Russell Brunson by taking transcripts of everything he's ever done, turning it the ChatGPT into Russell Brunson to where I can ask it questions and it is thinking like Russell Brunson would think. So it's answering my questions exactly how he would answer them. And it is remarkable how powerful this is. You can literally do this with anything. The same guy that I'm working with, that I'm turning all of his videos into email blasts, blog posts, Twitter threads, LinkedIn posts, etc. I've because I have so much of his words into transcript now, ChatGPT understands the language that he's saying, and it can start to make these posts sound the same way that this guy talks. That is remarkable on so many levels to think that this is only a year or two old and where this is going. So if you can start to incorporate this into people's businesses, I know that it's scary, the deep fakes, everything that can happen, but why not ride the trend and take advantage of this and learn AI to a very high degree and incorporate into other people's businesses? Because I guarantee you can get paid a shit ton of money for that right now. Just find the hole that they need and fill it in. And guess what? You can even ask ChatGPT what the hole is in their business to begin with. It's insane what you can do with this. The technology is remarkable. And I've only scratched the surface of it. So that's where I see my business attention flowing for the next few months as I figure this out. The results are yet to be proven. My income has actually gone down a little, but I don't care. I'm actually way happier now with my income going down because I know what I can do to not just replicate, but to drastically increase income. And for me, That's what gives me satisfaction and joy is doing the things that I know that will produce results that I'm very, very confident of. For example, in September, when I first started the channel and I started to pump out videos, I had a blowout month. I made way more money than I was expecting that I probably deserved. And what I was concerned about is I didn't know how to replicate that. I was concerned because I knew that I got lucky and I didn't think that I could continue that same trend of that much income every single month. And then I told a bunch of people that, hey, I just had a blowout month. And then I had a pressure to keep that up. But I knew that it was going to subside. But now I see a path to make way more than that income that was a blowout month in September. So what I always have to remind myself is things take a lot more time to grow, but when they start growing, they grow much faster than I could have even imagined. And that's happened with pretty much anything I've ever done. All that it takes is sticking with it. And during COVID, when everybody was trying to start businesses, I started a bunch of different businesses, drop shipping, e-commerce, trading stocks, everything, every single little stupid business that everyone was doing. I did the same thing. I didn't get anywhere with any of it. I did end up falling in love with macroeconomic and investing and all that stuff, and I stuck with that, and that's what's kind of led me to where I am. But it has been an ever developing saga. Learn AI, dude. I know that you're watching this and you're scared because that's how I felt. I guess I don't know how you're thinking because I can't think your thoughts, but I know that's how I felt. I was scared of AI. Oh, this is confusing. I don't want to learn. I don't know how to learn. Where do I even start? Just start messing around with ChatGPT. Start asking it the most complex questions you can think of, and then it gets much easier the more time you put into it. The hardest steps are the first, let's say, 10 hours of work that you put into something. And I used to spend probably 6 months avoiding the first few hours that it takes to become proficient enough in something. If you spend a few hours studying something, you know more than 99% of the population on that subject. But most of us, myself, is at the top of that list. I spend so long avoiding those first few hours because I'm intimidated by not understanding it initially. And I see this often all over and over and over again. And I recognize it in myself in so many aspects. I'm intimidated because I don't understand something instantly. Why would that ever be the case? Why would you ever understand something instantly? It's going to take a lot of time. That's how you learn stuff. Goodbye.